your time here. I'll kind of open up with this theme that we're talking about. I was reflecting upon 2022, and in reflecting about 2022, the word that came up for me was good. It was a good year. It wasn't bad, wasn't extraordinary. It was a good year. However, as I was reflecting upon that word again and the accomplishments, I'm like, good is fine, but good, and you've heard this, before, I'm sure, good is the enemy of great, right? Good is the frog sitting in the pot, and the water keeps getting hotter and hotter, and all of a sudden you're cooking, right? You don't even realize you're dying because you're good, you're comfortable. And so that was what my experience of 2022 was. Things were good. They weren't really hard. We had some accomplishments. We grew. It was good. But I do not believe that we were born to be good. I do not believe that we were created to be average. I believe that we were all gifted, special gifts, certain talents, things that inspire you, things that move you. Some people want to be nurses. Some people want to sell real estate. Some people want to chop down trees. Some people want to, do different things. All those things, I believe, comes to us as gifts. This is what our calling is. It's what we're here to impact, the vehicles that we have that are going to impact other lives. And so with that being said, I want to challenge everybody to really look at your 2022 and ask yourself, did you have an amazing, incredible, outstanding year? Like, would you look back and say, that was excellent. I left it all on the table, right? Left it all on the floor, on the field, whatever that is. Or would you say, I definitely feel like there's more inside of me that's just ready to go 1,000%, right? There are more lives I'm going to change. I'm going to make some crazy things happen because I'm here and because I was built for this. So I don't know, maybe some of you guys did that already. And you know what? Kudos. Let me applaud for you. And let's do it again this year. Or maybe it's no, you know what? I haven't even shown up yet. You don't even know what's coming, right? You don't know me yet. Right. And so that's kind of how I want to open up this meeting. Some of the questions that I've heard is what are we doing this year? And I took a little bit of time. And the reason I took a little bit of time is because one of the things that we did in 2020 is we had so many incredible meetings and so many incredible speakers. We used to do this thing that we're doing here. It's called Wealth Building Wednesdays, right? Wealthy Wednesdays. The definition of wealth, right? That can be very big. It could be, of course, the first thing that I believe wealth is health, right? If you don't have your health, doesn't matter how much money you have in the bank, health is first. But wealth usually means, okay, what you're able to, build and acquire. We're usually talking about something financial. And so a lot of the majority of the United States, or the majority of people, they walk around in their good spaces and they perform at a good level, and they're really not thinking about how am I going to create wealth? How is my time going to duplicate itself? How is my money going to work for me instead of me always chasing that dollar? How am I going to create enough wealth such that I have freedom? I have freedom to express my gifts. I have freedom to do the nonprofit. I have the freedom to pursue my calling of being an author or pastor, or whatever it is, go and do amazing things across the world. So it all comes down to building wealth. So beginning today and then on into the rest of the year, we are doing Wealth Building Wednesdays. We're talking about the mindset of wealth, around the tools. We're also going to go into opportunities, right? I've always been very in tune with that word wealth. And so my awareness, I don't remember the term is, but in psychology, they say once you see a red car and you buy a red car, every time you turn the corner, you see a red car. So I'm always looking at and thinking about, okay, how can this, become a wealth vehicle, right? How can we, how is this going to help my goal or be part of the goal to create more wealth. That being said, those things start showing up in your life, right? And so I want you guys to create wealth. I want you guys to have your awareness, around wealth, and so that you also begin to take care of some of these opportunities. Now, as I was creating this meeting, I was like, like, this is such a big thing. It's so important. Like, who and how in the first meeting of the year, who would be the best person to bring and really open up the first meeting of the year when we're talking about wealth. And then lo and behold, this incredible speaker, this incredible individual who really and truly embodies this whole concept of wealth building and passive income. When I say embody, this is the life that this person has led. And so I have the honor and the privilege to introduce Rob Flick, opening up our 2023 Wealthy Wednesdays meeting. And who is Rob Flick? I can tell you 10,000 things about him, but I will tell you some big key points. And then I would love for Rob to kind of tell us a little bit of his journey in his own words. But I will tell you that he's probably the person responsible for the growth of that red company back then, because I think he was agent number 14 and really expanded. Back then, Keller Williams was the thing to do, and he went out and he basically created, the seeds and he built the growth of that company. And then he stepped back and then he did it again, but with EXP, and so he's actually was brought on by Gene Frederick, and you guys know Gene Frederick because he's on the stages and he's doing all kinds of cool stuff. But let Rob tell you all about his journey. And really, really cool thing, at the end, we're going to share about an opportunity that I just came across. It's literally like 1 week out of the gates, and so it just worked out perfectly. So everybody give a warm round of applause and welcome to Mr. Rob Flick. All right, we're gonna unmute you. Rob.
Mute. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, great. Well, it's exciting, Rosie, that to be able to be here, and 2023 is going to be just a monster year. When you were saying, is 2022 a good year, a great year, an exceptional year? It was a pretty good year, I have to say. I was able to, for the first time, be the first agent to have attracted over 20,000 agents in their first 7 levels. There will be more, of course, after me, but to be the first one, that's kind of amazing. And I'm told that actually I have closer to 70,000 agents. If you went to my 10th level, 8th, 9th, and 10th, it'd be 50,000. If you go like down to level 15, it's 65 or 70. It's pretty incredible, really. I mean, it's still, in my opinion, one of the best, if not the best, opportunities in the real estate space worldwide. Actually, it's not just here in the U.S., but worldwide. And I believe that a lot. I love your idea of Wealth Building Wednesdays. I've had a Wealth Building Wednesday for forever, and in fact today I'm doing a lunch and learn here in Scottsdale, Arizona, and I do it on Wednesdays for a select group of people, and that I'm working with personally to really help them grow. And we call it exactly that, a Wealth Building Wednesday. I used that when I built Keller Williams years ago. And you said, tell you a little bit about my story. Well, the reason I'm so passionate about residual, and I apologize where I'm at. This is the first time that I've done a webinar, Zoom call from my car. This is my little gift to myself here a few years ago. It's a 488 Spider Ferrari, just really fun, all blue inside and out. Matches my shirt for my Wealth Building Wednesday. And it's my lucky T-shirt, And but years ago, I was doing fine in real estate. I was with a company called Coldwell Banker, and I discovered I had cancer, and went into and had to go into the hospital. And They said it had spread. It looked pretty bad actually. And so I spent about 4 years in and out of hospitals and being tested. And during that period of time, I couldn't work. I lost everything and went bankrupt. And while I was in the hospital, one of the things I thought of was um, I have to develop an income stream that's passive, that comes in no matter what, whether I'm there or not, because I didn't know if this cancer would come back. And the doctors were not hopeful. They actually gave me 3 to 6 months at the time. And fortunately, they were wrong, because that's been over 30 years ago. And one of the things that I ran across was, as you said, the Red Company, Keller Williams. And my goal was to make $100,000 a year. This is some 20 years ago. I said, if I could have 100 grand a year coming into me passively, then I could live pretty good. We're talking 25 years ago, right? Not today. I mean, 25 years. And I said that would be fine. I could live full time. And I was driven by fear, because I didn't know if the cancer would come back. And so when I ran across Keller, they'd been at it in 1996, 97 is when I saw it first. And I went, the number one person at the time in Keller was making $50,000 a year in their passive income program, their profit sharing. And she'd been with the company for 16 years. And I wanted to make twice that. And I knew the doctors were telling me I didn't have 30 years. So I wanted to find out if in fact it was doable and what it was all about. So I flew to Austin, Texas, met with them, met with the number one person, and to find out what was going on. I spent 3 days there asking questions to really understand the system, what it meant, what residual was like. And one of the questions I asked her was how many people she had personally referred or personally recruited, right? How many frontline did she have? And she didn't know the answer. And so we looked in the computer and we found out that in 16 years, she'd personally brought on 12, not even one a year. And I said, why only 12? And her answer changed my whole life. She said, I never thought about it. It was never part of my business plan. So I started thinking, what if someone made it part of their business plan? So I decided that I would go, I would join, I was with a company called Realty Executives at that time, because I had recovered from my cancer. I was now in the residential market in Arizona. And I moved over to Keller, and I said, my goal is to do to enroll 2 agents a month, just very simple, 2 agents a month, because my whole business plan, as far as my selling, when I was selling houses, was 2 sellers and 2 buyers a month, 2 sellers and 2 buyers a month. If I could get 2 listings a month, I could generally get 1 buyer off the sign from each list, average one, some more than others, depending on the property, but I always was going after 2 buyers and 2 sellers a month, 2 buyers, 2 sellers a month. The only thing I changed, I said, I'm going to get 2 buyers, 2 sellers, and 2 agents a month, 2 buyers, 2 sellers, and 2 agents a month, and spend my time on that. And the one thing that I discovered, believe it or not, think about this, which one do you find that it's easier to find, buyers and sellers or real estate agents? I mean, real estate agents were everywhere. It was like so easy. And when I was doing the listings, I was not an exceptional, outstanding agent like yourself, a mega agent. I was happy to do 20 to 30 transactions a year. I was excited. That was a pretty decent agent, but not overly huge. And I had to do 2 presentations a week, 2 listing presentations a week to get 2 listings a month. So I figured that's probably the same thing with agents. If I show the presentation to 2 agents a week, I could probably get 2 agents a month to join. Well, so I joined in July of 97. By December, I'd personally enrolled 30, a lot better than I thought. That was 5 a month, and I was just showing 8. So I was getting 5 out of 8, which was, it was brand new back there at that time. And my goal was to get to 100 grand. Well, I was able to do that. And because it's vested, I left and retired. And for the last 22 years, I've been getting, over $20,000 a month from Keller, sometimes 25 or 30. And I've lived on $200,000 to $300,000 a year, right? For the last so many years. And about 6 years ago, or 7 now, I guess, maybe, Gene wanted to show me this EXP deal. And I said, I wasn't interested. I said, listen, Have you followed my lifestyle? We travel all over the world. I haven't had to work for almost 20 years. I get a multiple six-figure income passively. I appreciate it, but thanks, but I'm really not interested. But he was pleasantly persistent. He said, you've got to see this, Rob. He said, listen, let me tell you, you were one of the few people that were able to get free, because when I retired, I was number 14 highest paid person at Keller Williams as far as their profit sharing. Today, they tell me I'm number 13. I actually moved up a spot. Nobody's passed me in 18 years in that program, which really questions in my mind, why aren't there hundreds of people that have passed me, since I didn't do anything anymore after that time. But what I found out was I was the only one to really be able to get free. And but none of my friends did. And so when I saw this, when Gene showed this to me, finally, I sat down and listened. I said, this is a way for virtually all real estate agents to have an opportunity like what I did, to be able to get free, because the KW profit sharing is paid after all expenses. And our program, our revenue share, big difference, is paid as one of the expenses off the top. And I found out that it was 20 to 25x times. And Gene told me, he said, Rob, if you do the same thing, or nearly so, what you did with Keller, if you do the same thing here at EXP, he said, instead of $250,000 or $300,000 a year, you would probably make $5 to $10 million a year. And it was like, what? Yeah, okay, all right, show this to me, go ahead. And I suddenly got interested. After he got done, I went and told my wife, I said, Jen, I kind of like what Gene was telling me. I think I might want to do this. And she said, well, what does that mean? I said, well, we're going to have to slow down our travel a little bit, because we were traveling 6 or 8 months a year somewhere in the world, just traveling around. We loved it. Been doing that for quite a while. And I said, we're going to have to slow down for about 3 years. And well, she said, so what's in it for us if you do that? And I said, well, Gene says that if I do the same thing as I did at Keller, we should make 5 to 10 million a year. A nanosecond later, she said, I think you should do this. So we started, so we joined in 2016. And before you know it, we were making 6 figures. Then it went to 7 figures. Then it was multiple 7 figures. And what I think of wealth is, I agree with you. It's not just money. I believe it's control, and health is number one, absolutely, for sure. And but I believe it's control of time and money. There's a lot of people that make a lot of money, and there's many ways to make a lot of money, but they give up their life for that. They give up all their time. And if anything happens to them and they can't do what they are doing to make the money anymore, that lifestyle generally goes away. And so what I have found is this is very, very unique in the industry, or in any industry, to be able to develop a residual income, a passive income stream that is actively growing, that is willable to your kids. If you want to be able to do that, I mean, that's a really big thing. It's an opportunity to build generational wealth. And I've been told that I have more millionaires and people making $1 million a year, and millionaires or people making 6 figures a year in residual than any person on the planet, as far as real estate, in real estate anyway. I don't know about all the other industries, but as far as real estate, and I think it's really great that it's attracted such great talent. And the biggest thing, my biggest deal was asking a million questions. I would ask questions of agents, getting to know them, ask questions of people, getting to know them. And it's on I have a little YouTube video. If you go to YouTube and you search Rob Flick Wealth Chart Training, it's about a 26-minute video. It shows how to go from 0 to $500,000 a year or so in 3 years or less. Any agent with using about 4 hours a week, persistently, consistently, and effectively for 3 years, it can be done. And I mean, I accomplished that in about 6-7 months, but I showed how to do it in 3. And a lot of people, many people have been able to create that, 6 figures and some 7 figures in residual. And it's very refreshing to know that there are hundreds of thousands of agents now that have been financially affected in a very, very positive way. I mean, it's not like you've got to make millions to change your life. I will tell you that. If you create an extra 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, 2,500 a month for most people, that'll change their life. That'll pay their house off. That'll pay their cars off. That'll pay their student loans off. That'll pay college for their kids. That is a massive influx for the masses of the people here in the United States and other parts of the world. And real estate, and of course, everybody wants to live indoors. So people are always going to want to be, if they can, be in a house and a really very, very nice house. So it's been a pleasure to be able to build that and see it grow. My whole goal when I started was just to make, $500,000 a year. I never imagined that it would get to be that and more monthly. I had no idea. I'm excited. I'm adjusting, right? But what's exciting to me is that there's many, many other people such as yourself and others on your team that are creating exactly that. And that's exciting to me. It's part of what drives me to see why I keep doing this. I keep doing it because I love seeing the light go on in somebody's eyes who thinks there's really no hope or doesn't realize, what's possible or what can be done. When people find this and see this, I think it's really great. And I don't really, beat on people, quite frankly. I look at it like I'm just searching out there for people who are looking for us. It's like I've got a menu, a restaurant with a menu. Not everybody likes everything on the menu, but they come because my service is great. It's pleasant to be there and be around, and they find different things on the menu they really like and enjoy and they can use. And they're very happy to refer that to their friends and to other people that they meet. And some people get very, very passionate about it without question. And I am that way, and I like supporting people who are. And Rosie, you've been a massive leader within the company, and not only in selling houses and creating quite a sales team, but in helping develop the company as well. So I just appreciate everything that you've done. I would say that's probably good enough, unless you got a question or two about my story. I don't know. I've got properties all over South America, Puerto Rico, Arizona. Bought a horse farm for my daughter this year or last year. Now it's last year. 22 acres in Ohio, with a beautiful, beautiful indoor arena, outdoor arena, a 1 acre pond stocked with fish, 3 different barns, I think 30 stalls. And, so she's teaching and training horses. She's got 20 something horses out there now. And she's just in heaven. And I love to be able to provide for my family their passion. And she's been passionate about horses since she's 4 years old. And she's very patient ever since she started asking me as a little kid, can I have a pony? And it sort of got out of hand. I will tell you that. It's really funny.
That is amazing. I think that when I first heard your story, many, many, many moons ago, I think, and I remember when it was January the 8th of 2018. And when I heard the story, I was listening, and then I was thinking, like, how is it that someone can actually create an entire lifestyle on residual income? It's something that I really believe, Rob, that you're probably the only person I know that has successfully created a life like you have. Your life consists of travel and investing, and along the way you're impacting lives. And so the question that I would have is, like, tell me about the mindset. Like, how did you adopt that belief that you were going to create, wealth, and you were going to create income, and you were going to live this life? Because it takes a strong level of belief, right? The vehicle, can change, but just talk to me about your mind.
Well, my deal was, I decided ever since I had that cancer experience, I said, I am not going to do anything that doesn't have a residual component to it. I don't care what it is. And I'm going to look for different opportunities that have residuals and really work with them on the ones that I feel good in the administration, the company, the service, the things they do, and the people that are running it. That's a really, because I want it to be long-term, right? I don't want to have to redo it, keep redoing it all the time. And, but I'm always looking for opportunities like that. So my mindset was, I was at the top of my game. I was top 20 in the country at that time, for that company nationwide, right? That I was working with before. And all of a sudden I went to nothing, and nothing that I did. It was affected by health. And then we had this pandemic, and you just never know what's happening or what's going on. And most people don't ever think about it. They think they're going to be all right and fine forever. But economies change, your health changes, things change, your circumstances change. And I said, I found out that residuals know no bounds, no boundaries. They don't have prejudices. They just create and produce. And I said, if I can create multiple, and my goal was to create multiple six-figure residual income streams, which I've been able to do. And so I'm constantly looking for what can I do to create another residual income stream so that I don't have all my eggs in one basket. I don't have to worry about, one different thing. I'm always wanting to build and help. And my strength has always been team building. I've always known that I'm a decent one. I wouldn't say I'm mediocre, but I'm decent. But I always find I was always the one that looked for talent. If I was, or I'd be the one that would put the people together for a pickup game of volleyball or a pickup game of softball or kickball or whatever. It would be get Rob. He can find the people who will play. And so that's what I've always been that way, and always said, I've got a great idea. I've got a good idea. Come listen. Do you want to play? And I've always been that way. And I believe that talent finds talent. And I like to get people that are very talented together and get out of their way. And if I can have a small percentage of what's created from that explosion of talent working with talent, then my lifestyle is pretty darn incredible. In fact, Gary Keller told me once, many years ago, he said the highest paid people in the world are recruiters. If you can get a percentage of 1,000 people or 10,000 people or 100,000 people or 1,000,000 people, you'd rather do that than there's nothing you can do that can possibly compare with the leverage you've got by working through people, and helping them achieve. And one of the things, I've heard from very successful people was try to pay your people more than anyone else will pay, because most employers are trying to pay the least amount they possibly can to keep you from leaving. And most employees want to get the most amount of money they can to do the least while they're there. It's sort of a dichotomy there. But I really feel that, what people around you make six figures? How many of your people make six figures? How many of your people make seven figures? What are the top 5 people around you as part of your business? Are they 5-figure incomes? Are they 6 figures? Are they 7 figures? Are they 8? Where are they? That's what I believe is part of wealthy and rich. I believe what I call in a wealth builder symbiotic relationship. If I'm looking for opportunities for you, then you're looking for opportunities for me. If I can find something that you do that we both make money, and you can find something that I do that we both make money, so we're both looking for opportunities for each other, then we are what we call a wealth determiner for each other. And succeeding by yourself and having a ton of money with no friends that are free, it's kind of boring. We love traveling around the world, but we like it, taking it with people that we've had a hand in, helping them to get financially set and free, and really working with the newest up and comers. I really love that. That's what keeps me young, working with, these people that are coming on to this in their 20s and 30s that are making 6 and 7 figures. Think of the lifestyle that they're going to have, over time. And if they're smart with their money, they'll get the right financial advisors and set up, the generational protection for their families to come, for their generations to come. We've got the opportunity to be able to do that now. And so that's what's very exciting to me. And yes, last year was a lot of travel. We went to Europe 3 different times. I got to go to Andre Bocelli's private house in Italy, in Tuscany. That was really great. And hear him sing personally, that was a wonderful experience. I got to go to the Ferrari factory and see, where all the Ferraris are made. I got to spend time with Michelin star chefs going to cooking school in France and in Italy. Got to go to the Macy's Day Parade. That was really wonderful and fun. Got to just do so many, got to go all over New England, and I've never seen that, the change of the colors and the trees. I mean, there's just so many different things that we were able to. Went on several wine river cruises in Europe, spent a good time in Bordeaux and Paris, months and months of being able to do that. And yet the income is still there. It's still solid. My goal was, when I first got started, was to have 500 agents on my team. And today, more than 500 agents join my team every month. Who knew? I thought it would take me 3 years to get 500. It doesn't. You get to a tipping point where you get to the point where when I knew I had something is the first time that I had somebody join the team that I had not talked to, I'd not follow up with, I'd never met. Other people had talked to them, follow up, and got them to join. And later they introduced me to them after they already joined. And that's what I called duplication. When that starts happening, that's the tipping point, like Malcolm Gladwell said. And everybody's different, but I find a lot of times that's right around 100 agents. You get 100 agents, you're going to have 200. You get 250 or three, you're going to go to 500. You can't stop it. You get 500 agents with one or two people actively, you're going to go to 1,000. You're going to create. You just can't stop it when it gets to a certain point, and you've just got to carry that dream. It doesn't matter how many people tell you no, it's still worth the best thing going. Just like if you had $1,000 bill and you walked around offering it to people, there'd be people say, you know, it looks too good to be true. I don't know. I don't know. No, just have it. I'm just giving it out. No, there's got to be something wrong. What's the catch? Nothing. They don't take it. Fine. It's still $1,000 bill. It's still worth the same thing just because they don't recognize it or understand it. And just knowing and have belief that you're going to run across the right people. And everybody, what I have found literally is one person away from financial freedom with this opportunity at EXP, because most people that are really building, that have really, really big teams, especially the alphas, most of them have one major builder. They might have 25, 30, 40, 50 people personally enrolled, but they've got one, two, if they're lucky, major builders on their team to put it together. And I found that true over and over and over and over again. Everybody that's listening to this, you are just one person away, and that could be this afternoon. You just don't know when your life is going to change and you're going to affect thousands of people because of that one right person. You know, and my attitude and belief has been that way all the time. I've always thought that.
And you know, I love what you're sharing. And a couple things that you said, Rob, was that, you know, one of the things that you're intentional about is really, you know, building multiple streams of passive income, of residual income. Yeah. And I know you only have about, you know, 5 or 6 minutes left. So you guys just want to make sure we cover this, that about a week ago, there's something that you've been involved in for about a year. And, you know, for me, guys, people are like, oh, Rosie, you know, in my little world, you know, they say that, you know, how is it that you've able to do A and B and C? And my answer for a long time has been like, you know what, I watch smart people, I see what they do, and then I just go copy them, right? Because they're doing something right. Now, that being said, Rob, this is like breaking news. It hasn't even it's not even out there yet. Very few people know about this, and I'm privileged and honored and grateful that you know, you shared this with me. Can you tell us a little bit about this recent project that you personally are involved in?
Yeah, sure. I've known the people that founded this company. It's called Sundae, SUNDAE, and it's a national company. It's almost $1 billion company, founded by a friend of mine who I invest with, actually, who already in his 30s created a company from 0 to $1 billion called a unicorn in the lending industry. And then he started working in the fix and flip industry. And he created this company called Sundae to work for really dilapidated, in need of work properties that iBuyers pass because they're looking for properties that need a lot of work, that have been seriously neglected, not just paint and carpet, you know, what we call lipstick on a pig, that takes, you know, quite a bit of time and effort. And what they have done is they have a platform where they will go. They've done thousands and thousands of these transactions, and they will get under contract a property that needs a lot of work, and they will put it on their marketing platform, which actually is an auction, and they have over 20,000 registered investors. And those investors see the property at auction. It's designed so the sellers get the absolute highest price for their property possible when they're generally in a bad situation. And these houses would not go on the MLS, most likely. They would not be iBuyer interest because it takes so much money to fix them up and bring them up to speed. And it gets the buyers or the sellers the very absolute highest price, for their properties. And they're the testimonies and referrals, if you will, about the company are absolutely exceptional. And they're in 11 markets right now, 5 different states, mostly California, a couple places in Texas, Nevada, Atlanta, Seattle, Las Vegas, and a lot of the major cities in California. And they want to expand much farther. And their cost of acquisition and finding people looking for these properties is expensive. So what I'm friends with them, they watched and saw what I did with EXP and how we went from 0 to almost 90,000 agents, and knowing what part that I played in it. And they said, we would like to put something together like that, a referral program for real estate agents if they come across properties like this, that we can pay them significantly. And we'd like to build a network of thousands and thousands of agents, maybe hundreds of thousands of agents across the country that have eyes on the ground looking and seeing that they want to pay a referral, a significant referral. And Rosie's got the information. She'll be able to share it with you in detail. But just to give you the idea and concept, that if you run across a property and to sign up with Sunday, to enroll with Sunday, it's free. There's no cost to be with Sunday. There's no cost to maintain it. It's any company, doesn't matter what real estate company you're part of. It's paid broker to broker. So the real estate companies make money too. Same thing. So if you're with EXP, for example, and you referred a property, you'd get a refer that got sold. You would get a referral fee, and it's pretty significant. You'll see on the PowerPoint that Rosie will be able to share with you. And it's paid to the brokerage, which keeps their whatever split that you have with them. They make money and you get the same thing. It helps towards going towards your becoming a capper. It helps towards you becoming an FLQA for your sponsor. It's more cash flow. And then they said, we'd also like to set up a network such that you can not only refer houses, but you can refer agents who refer some of these properties, or refer agents who refer agents who refer agents that refer these properties. So there's the residual component to it. There's an active component to it, and there's a residual. And one of the things that I worked on with them was getting it paid to unlimited depth. At Keller Williams, we only got paid through the first 7 levels. At EXP, through the first 7 levels. They got it set up so that it can be worked to be paid unlimited depth, which is an unbelievable opportunity. There's somewhere between 400 and 500,000 houses a year that fit this category that are sold off market, that wouldn't make it on the MLS, that iBuyers passed up, that it's a market segment that is sort of, an orphan, if you will, there. And so this is an opportunity to be able to refer other agents, doesn't matter what company they're with, to be able to, look and find houses where you can be able to receive an override. It's really pretty exciting. To max out on the entire program is half as much as what you need with EXP or Keller. And it's a really, really great, super great opportunity, I think, to be able to capture a part of the market that is not being serviced, except for predatory people that go in and try and take it for the lowest possible thing they can from sellers who are in trouble or don't have the money, to fix up their properties to move it. So it's good for the sellers, I believe. It's very good for the investors. It's wonderful for the agents, and it's good for the company that the agents are with. And their reputation is really exceptional. And he has built already one company that went from 0 to over $1 billion as a unicorn in his 30s. In the lending space, this is his second one. This company is worth just under $1 billion, so I'm told. It's going to be his second unicorn, which is really kind of unheard of, because there's only about 400 unicorns in the history of Wall Street. I mean, EXP being one of them, by the way. And it's very unique to be able to be part of an upfront work with people like that, especially in the very beginning. The opportunity, I believe, is limitless to be able to put together. And I think it's a win-win for everybody. So that's why I looked at it. I helped them develop their system. I helped them develop their pay plan, their compensation, such that there's multiple streams of income available This is phase one. Phase two is coming out ready for this. You will be able to refer investors that want to be part of the program. And every time that investor buys a property through the Sunday platform, you will receive a check. And that's an exciting thing when that starts coming at me. First thing we're getting is getting the realtor base. The best thing what I'm recommending now is to be able to refer people that are within the markets that they are currently operating with an eye to states that will open up in the future. And you don't have to be in with a market that they're operating in. You just have to refer agents to get paid to refer agents in that market or houses in the markets where they are. And it's an exciting thing. As I've talked to different people, I haven't talked to very many people, but 100% of the people I've talked to have said, this is a no-brainer. There's no cost to me. There's no cost to join. There's no cost to maintain. And you just don't know. We build a big enough net. We're going to come across properties like that. It will happen. It's not an overnight thing, in my opinion, but I think it's a groundswell. Quite frankly, I think it's going to push them over to becoming another unicorn. And there's a lot of money to be made that's sitting around that we as real estate agents are not getting. And now we have an opportunity to take part in that.
I think it's incredible. And I think one of the things is that we're out there, we're selling real estate, and we're going to have those properties, like you said, that, they're really not something you can put on the MLS. And if you do, end up getting some people, there are going to be a very select few individuals who will come in on a predatory, with a predatory number. And really, obviously, they're looking at making the biggest profit possible. When you have these properties, now you have this outlet, now you have this system that really is looking to bring the best price to your client. And hey, by the way, you're going to get a referral from it. And hey, by the way, if you refer other agents, it's another stream. And that stream is infinite. When he says it's infinite, that means that as this company grows, whatever seeds that you plant today, right? Whatever seeds you sign up, you plant a few seeds, those seeds grow, which is the same thought process I had when I joined DXP. I said, I knew this was going to grow. Let me sprinkle a few seeds and let me ride this wave. And it's the same mentality. Big difference here is that this doesn't cost anybody anything. Essentially, you're just signing up for this referral network, and then based on whatever your activity is and or the people that come on through, and you've just created another potential area of wealth. And so just so you guys know, in the chat group, I posted the link so that you can go ahead and sign up. Literally takes you like 5 minutes. We are doing some training around that, around how to really market yourself to that market and how to be able to basically generate more business. That business is primarily going to fall into your lap as listings, of course. However, there's going to be those properties that you come across that you're going to be able to offer your seller that best possible auction platform solution. And again, guys, I'll tell you, the key to my success is following smart people. And, if they're doing something amazing and they've got a proven track record, then let's go, right? I like to be the student in the room. And so hopefully you guys kind of see that. And starting off, Wealth Building Wednesdays with Mr. Rob Flick, there's just absolutely no other person who I would have loved, to have had on here than you, Rob. I really, really appreciate your time. I know your time is valuable. And I'm so grateful that you're part of our company, part of our world, and that you keep giving back. So thank you so much. You're welcome. And thank you for having me. I'll see you then. I got to figure out how to turn this off because I'm so not technical. How do I do that? Thank you. And so for everybody, we are doing a presentation. I'll give you guys some details on that, just to kind of give you the breakdown of how that works. But make sure that you guys click on this link that's in the chat group. Megan, if you can post it back up just to make sure it's fresh. When you do, there it is. Okay, when you do, it's going to create your own little link. And then once your own little link is created, then you'll be able to share that with whoever you like. You do have to be a real estate professional, just so that you're aware. Because obviously you're receiving referrals, and it's going through the brokerage. So whoever you do refer to the platform. But when I look at this opportunity, I'm basically looking at how I can use this tool, Sunday, in my business. And the way that I can use it in my business is really giving my sellers in addition, like giving them the best price for their home. Because you've got over 20,000 investors nationwide. Again, this company's been around for 4 or 5 years that are bidding on that property. You'll have results in a few days, and you can, they can take it or they can leave it, right? But it's the properties that don't have the things, that don't have, are missing the kitchen, all that stuff that, they're not going to get financing. And really, you could put it in front of 1 or 2 investors that are probably going to try to purchase it at 60 or 70% LTV, right? Or you can put it inside of the Sunday platform, and then maybe they're going to get 80 to 90%, right? Which is awesome for the client. Client's happy, you're happy, they pay, they close, all the good stuff. And then again, anything that you do, guys, anything that you're in the business of doing on a day-to-day basis, look at what you're doing transactionally. This is like my time for this result, my time for this result. I sell a house, I get a commission, I do this, I get that. Like, it's a linear, right? One-to-one relationship. But if there's an opportunity within that, just like we have here in EXP, where you're going to do, I'm going to sell real estate anyways, man, hey, by the way, I can create another wealth lane, right? I can create a wealth lane of stock. I can create the wealth lane, the residuals through the referral program. Like, why wouldn't you do that, right? It's only because, I don't know, maybe you're not aware. Nobody on this call can say that you're not aware, because you're aware. Or, I don't know, you've got some crazy idea in your head that, that you're not able to do it. Well, some people have a crazy idea in their head, like Rob Flick, thinking that they can do it, right? So the only difference in that is that what you decide that you're going to create, what you decide your story is going to be. I really look forward to, first of all, I want to thank you for your time. We went over, but Rob was here. And so, we get a little bit of this, multi-millionaire's time. We're going to take a little bit of time extra. We're having our wealth building Wednesdays on a daily. We still have, for, I don't know what part of the country we're in, but we do have contracts that we still have on Thursdays. And we're going to narrow in and zero in a little bit more on scripts, because that's, we have technology training that we've offered, and we have, different kinds of training that we bring forward. However, sales and productivity is what we really need to focus on. The market, guys, by the way, shifted, and it is shifting again. And when I say that, buyers have a reality check kind of sinking in now, right? Buyers are like, okay, well, I guess this is going to be my payment. And, the sellers are like, well, I guess this is where I have to sell my house. So all the dust is settling. And I just want to make you guys aware, so that you guys get out there and, have those conversations with the buyers and the sellers. Do the door knocking. Like, it's time to show up and act like a realtor, right? It's time to show up and get to work, right? If you do the action, the result will follow. That you have to be consistent, right? And along the way, you're at an open house, talk to an agent about this awesome opportunity here at EXP, right? Tell them, like, hey, this is a really ugly house. Let me tell you about Sunday. Just be intentional with your time. I look forward to seeing you guys here again next Wednesday. And we're going to be rolling out a calendar on Sunday with the list of the classes that are open to everybody. There are some classes that I'm leading. There are some classes that other leaders in the organization have put together. And so there's never a lack of information. It's usually a lack of activity that holds you back. So just be aware of that. We also have a couple of accountability challenges, if you will. One is around, what happens at the beginning of the year. Everybody wants to lose weight, and we're going to get fit this year and all this good stuff. And so, I'm one of those people. And so I've got my own little accountability in place. And so I'm going to extend that and open that up to anybody else who wants to be a part of that. We're going to set up a little group platform, and daily check-ins is what we're doing. And then we also want to, the other thing that everybody wants to do is grow their business. And so the second accountability challenge is about consistency around sales activity, consistency around sales activity. If you have no clients, then 89% of your day is lead generation, right? And then if you don't know how to lead generate, well, we're going to help you, and we're going to support you, and we're going to help train you. Okay. So look for that. Like I said, that'll be rolling out this Sunday. I've got different people, very talented people that are going to be a part of this training. And then also I want to make sure that all of the people that really are committed to the accountability, that we vet you as well. So any questions on anything before we close off? We've got a few minutes here. Our meeting went long, but any questions? Anybody?
Hey, Rosie. Bruce. Hey,
Yes.
Rosie, you know what? First of all, thank you. Rob was outstanding. So I'm just looking forward to just being a part of all of that. And, we'll talk on the other thing about the mortgage side, okay? About the loan officer side.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, but I'm excited. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Everybody, you guys are all like, part of my circle, and I appreciate you. And we may not know each other personally, or we may not have ever had lunch together, but we're all like attracts like. And so I know in some way, shape, or form, like we have a connection. We're vibing on the same vibe. And so I'm just excited for us to build not a good 2022. I'm after like amazing, like kick ass. I gave it all. I had a full year. Like I had the production and I had the health and I had the relationship and I did the travel and like the family was amazing. Like let's go after amazing. Again, one-way ticket here. And so, make it the absolute best that you can. So that's all I have to say about that, guys. I'm gonna have to go.